Welcome back to Miracle Trigger, guys. Today we have a bunch of new announcements which we can go over, and the first one we're going to cover is the Extra Booster Volume 5 Primary Melody. This is the Bermuda Triangle Extra Booster, which a lot of people have been waiting for. For those who aren't familiar with Bermuda Triangle, it's a deck that kind of works a lot with bouncing cards back to your hands and having a lolicon. So if you like little girls or bouncing cards to your hand, this is probably going to be a clan that you're going to like quite a bit. Next up, we have a couple more Narukami cards from the Miyagi Academy Card Fight Club booster box. That is quite a mouthful, but the first of which is Demolition Dragon. This is a grade 1 with the continuous effect that if there are no rear guards in your opponent's front row, it gets plus 3000 power. Think of it as an airmo with a condition, however it can also attack with that boost. It also has the ability that when its attack hits a Vanguard while it's on Vanguard, you can draw one card. It's not a crazy powerful card, however the ability to draw an extra card on your first turn can be crazy strong for putting extra pressure or putting up a good defense. I can definitely see this card making a place in a lot of Narukami decks in the future. Next up, we also have Detonic Stinger Dragon. This is a card with the auto ability on Vanguard or Rearguard that when placed you can counterblast one, choose an opponent's rearguard in the front row, and bind it. After this card gets 5000 power. Pretty cool effect. It's just basically removal with a plus, and that's never going to be bad. It's also pretty cheap for a counterblast of 1. It also has this really cool effect that when rode upon, you can call this card a rearguard, and one of your vanguards gets plus 10,000 power until the end of the turn. If I had to guess, this is going to be the secondary grade 3 for the clan, as far as right now anyways. It's just good removal with a plus, and riding it doesn't feel terrible, so it's good for consistency. Final Narukami card that we have is Detonic's Drill Dragon. If you like Gurren Lagann, this might be a card for you. Now it has the ability that on Vanguard, once per turn when it attacks a Vanguard, you can counterblast one. Choose a rearguard in your opponent's front row and bind it. Then you can discard the same number of cards from your hand as the opponent has rearguards, and at the end of the battle, you can stand this unit. Until the end of the turn, it also gets plus 5000 power and loses a drive check. Okay, so this card I have many mixed feelings about. So being forced to discard cards can kind of suck, especially if you're paying that cost when you're attacking and not after the attack. On top of that, you're discarding based on your opponent's rearguards. So if this clan can consistently keep your opponent's rearguards to 1 or 0, that's pretty strong. However, if they can't, then this is going to be an extremely difficult card to pull off, and a lot of the times you're going to neg yourself quite a bit. Finally, we also saw 3 more cards from the Misaki Tokura trial deck, and the first of which is Weill Crane. This is the grade 1 that has the ability of when you draw a card, you can put this card into your soul, and 2 of your rearguards in the front row get plus 10,000 power until the end of the turn. So this is kind of a weird effect. It's good for pushing a bit of extra damage, but you are losing a bit of field at the same time. So if you're looking for that final push, this is a great card. However, it's not always going to be the best option. That being said, the when you draw idea seems to be the core mechanic for this trial deck, and you do need to keep in mind that it does not activate for your drive checks or for cards that say put this card into your hand. That's a bit of a low point, however it does raise an archetype where you're looking to run a lot of draw triggers as opposed to a lot of crits like we are seeing now. The next card we see is a grade 2 called Miko of the Spirit Light, Kanika. When you draw a card, you can counterblast one, and this unit gets plus 10,000 power till the end of the turn. Again, it doesn't activate for drive checks or put effects. So this is going to be a basically big swinging deck from the looks of it. You're going to be swinging for large numbers where you're giving plus 10 or 20,000 power to your rearguards pretty regularly. It's going to be a pretty interesting deck, and I'd assume that you're going to be running it more aggressively than the current style you're going to see now, despite not running as many crit triggers possibly. And finally, the grade 3 that we see is Miko of the Treasured Blade, Shizuka. It has the ability that act on rearguard once per turn. You can counterblast 2 and soul blast 1. Draw a card, and 3 units in your front row get plus 5000 power. So, is this a good card? Well, the Counterblast 2 and Soul Blast 1 is pretty expensive for drawing a card and giving 15k to your field, optimistically. And again, you're only able to use this card on rearguard. So I'm not entirely sure that this will make the cut. However, you might be able to do something pretty cool with it. Anyways, that is all the new information for today. We had the extra booster for Bermuda's announced, although we don't have a release date yet. We had some new Narukami cards from the Miyagi booster box, and we had some new OTT cards from the trial deck coming up. So let me know what you guys think of these cards, and if you want to see a couple of the other new cards that we just had announced, you can click on the video in the card icon, or that should be on screen pretty soon. You can also leave a like and subscribe for more Vanguard news and content. And you can follow me on Twitter to tweet at me some cards when they're released if you want to make sure that I get every card possible announced on this channel. I try to make sure I catch every card that comes out, but it's pretty easy to miss some of them. But with all that being said, this has been Miracle Trigger. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do love that you guys support the channel so much so far, and I will see you all in the next video.